Ohio State's defense can be the difference maker against Tennessee.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to your hump day edition of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. And today's episode is brought to you by the College Football Playoff, because the College Football Playoff is here and you don't want to miss a moment of the action. The College Football Playoff, presented by Allstate, begins with 4 first-round games December 20th and 21st on ESPN, ABC, TNT, and Max. During today's show, we'll dive into our weekly stock watch as well as fixing the transfer portal. But before we get to any of that, the Buckeyes defense can definitely be the difference maker against Tennessee. I have believed that all week long, and Jim Noles does too, which is huge. We're thinking about the confidence that that unit might be playing with this weekend, because when your leader believes in you and your leader is putting together a game plan that is you believe in, that you buy in, that's going to help you play a whole lot better on that field on Saturday night in the shoe. It's one thing to have the belief in yourself, but when the guy that is putting you on the field that says you are worthy to be a part of the starting defense at Ohio State, and he believes in that unit, believes in the players, he's confident in everything that they can do on that field, you're going to want to go a whole lot harder for him, because he is riding with you every single day. And during Jim Knowles' media availability session on Tuesday, he made this statement, and I love the words that he said about his confidence in his unit. Quote, "I'm confident in our players. I'm confident in the way that they perform in crucial moments. We can win the game on defense. That's everything I've been working on since I got here. If it comes to the defense winning, that's what we've got to do," end quote. Man, let me just go ahead and get my cleats back out, find some shoulder pads and a helmet, put that stuff back on, and go out there and play for Jim Knowles, because he's basically telling everybody out there, this unit can get it done. Yes, we know what has happened previously in the past 12 games. This unit can get it done. The Michigan game, Nebraska game. There are certain games out there that the Buckeyes defense did a lot of great things, and they had 1 or 2 hiccups that really hurt them. That's not shaking Jim Knowles' confidence. That's not allowing Jim Knowles or causing Jim Knowles to waver on his belief in the guys. No. From Tyleik Williams to Caleb Downs, from the front to the back and to both sides, he has the full trust of this team. And that's one thing that's very, very big. Because as you look at Tennessee, their averages are pretty even across the board between average passing numbers and average rushing numbers on the year. They average 231 passing yards a game. They average 232 rushing yards a game. They have a 1,400-yard rusher. And Dylan Sampson, he also has 22 rushing touchdowns in the season and 5.8 yards a pop. So when you have a quarterback in Nico that can do some things with his arm, you have a really talented back in Dylan Sampson, that might cause some defensive coordinators to waver a little bit or to get a little shaky in their belief. Not Jim Knowles. Even the fact that Ohio State's defensive line at times is not getting it done as often as we think they should on the field, that's not shaking Jim Knowles' confidence at all. Go back, and I encourage everybody to go back on the YouTube and watch Jim Knowles' presser. You're going to look at a guy that's very, very confident in the unit. And I think his confidence is so high, not only because of the talent in the room, but everybody has gotten better. Everybody out there has done a lot of great things this year, and players have gotten better. Some have been consistent. Some have allowed their play to rise to the occasion. You got Jack Sawyer. When there's a breakdown in coverage on the play, he makes one of the most amazing plays you'll ever see. I mean, I rival that to one of the plays that Tuimoloau made against Penn State a couple years ago. But even in that moment, Jack Sawyer wasn't supposed to be doing that. Tuimoloau a couple years ago wasn't supposed to be doing that. But Tuimoloau was in the middle of the field. Jack Sawyer was in the red zone. One wrong move, one wrong leap, one wrong step, that can lead to a touchdown. But no, Jack Sawyer, he said, I got this, baby. I'm going to peel off a little bit. I see the quarterback throwing. I'm going to go up, make this miraculous play. We have seen guys make big play after big play after big play and seen the unit rise to the occasion over and over and over again. Really play great football down the stretch, which I believe is a big reason why Jim Knowles believes in these guys. But as a unit, it's going to be hard to find a better 11 on defense than what Ohio State's going to put out there on Saturday against Tennessee. Tyleik Williams, Tuamaloa Sawyer, Cody Simon and Styles that have been playing great ball all year, Caleb Downs, Lathan Ransom, Burke, Igbinosin, all the other guys that I did not name. Their growth, their strengths are in each other. Even though some guys like Burke and Igbinosin have had some issues this year, they're right there. The unit is right there to pick them up. Hey, bro, next play. Forget that. That didn't even happen. Let's keep on working. Let's keep on grinding. We got more ball to play. They work together as a unit. And if I'm Nico, if I'm Dylan Sampson, if I'm any of these guys on Tennessee's offense, if I am Brew McCoy or anybody else, I am looking out there and saying, okay, what is the weakness on Ohio State's defense? Is it the corners? Maybe. Is there another area where you think that Tennessee can exploit Ohio State? Not really. No. And with being the corners, honestly, that's only a one-on-one situations. And I think both of those guys would do a whole lot better with that this weekend than they had previously in the season. So I do think that that's going to be one thing that's going to be a little bit better. Ohio State at times can't get off the field on struggles. Struggles to get off the field on third down. I think that's going to be something that's going to be an improvement. Oregon, sometimes their speed cause Ohio State's defense to be a little shaky. I think with the extra time to prepare, you're going to be able to help that. And so I like what is about to happen with Ohio State's defense. And one of the reasons why I am getting closer to making a pick on the game is because of what I think the defense can do. There's really not one thing where I think, hey, Tennessee can't exploit Ohio State in a massive way. There may be a crack here or a little sliver there, but it's not some massive hole. If Dylan Sampson starts to get loose, which I don't think he's really going to do, but if he does start to crack a little bit, I think Jim Knowles is going to make a slight tweak. I think it's going to be done. If Nico starts to get a little confidence, I think it's going to be a slight tweak. I think it's going to be done. And I do think the Buckeyes defense isn't shying away from the moment. They're happy they're in the shoe. They're not going to mess anything up in regards to, they're too good for us. We're going to just fold. I don't think it's going to happen. Competitors like Caleb Downs, like Cody Simon, like Lathan Ransom, those kind of competitors, those guys that are going to lay it all on the line on Saturday, those are the kind of guys that you can believe in, that you can say, no matter what Tennessee tries to do, the RPO game, the up-tempo offense, whatever it might do, the Buckeyes have an answer, and the Buckeyes can slow them down. I'm not saying stop or to halt it. I'm not going that far. I got too much respect for Tennessee, what Josh Heupel is doing down there in Knoxville, to say the Buckeyes are just going to be able to stop it. Slow it down? That's exactly what I think Ohio State's defense can do, as they will be difference makers Saturday night in the shoe. One thing that'll make a difference in college football is a necessary tweak to the transfer portal, and we'll discuss that next. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL, and it's all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Simply visit FanDuel.com to join today, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. All the action goes down in two places, on the FanDuel Sportsbook app and at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch, and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Thank you all for tapping in Locked On Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. The transfer portal is one of those things in this sport that's very, very tricky and sometimes confusing. Why is a portal open when it does in December? Why are there 2 transfer portal windows? Why in the world is it right in the middle of bowl season, right at the portion when schools are trying to fixate on the high school recruiting early national signing day? A lot of this stuff is confusing. It's fixable. It's definitely fixable, but a lot of this is confusing. One thing that is fixable is the transfer portal, the calendar itself in college football, just some slight tweaks, and this whole thing gets fixed. I do believe the portal should not open in the middle of the season. And I think that if you're able to move that thing to the end of the season and shift the calendar a little bit, I think everything will be A-okay. There's no reason why college football should be going into, January 20th or 21st? I forget exactly when the national championship is. I know it's on a Monday. That really annoys me. But there's a lot of things that can change with this sport. One of them is a calendar. Move the transfer portal to the end of the season. Not when the end of the season currently is. Have the season end on New Year's Day. And I think it's been a thing that after the BCS went away and the college football playoff got implemented with the 14 playoff, I think one of the things that people got lost with is, well, the season ended with the 14 playoff the same day that it did with the BCS. Now, with the BCS, there was no portal like it is today. Guys could transfer, but there are more rules and restrictions about, well, you could transfer, but you got to sit out. Then you could be a grad transfer. There's other rules there that were just set in stone. You just didn't change them. Now, all of a sudden, you can be a grad transfer. You can transfer after your freshman year, sophomore year. You're going to have guys play for 4 schools in 5 years. Some guys play for 5 schools in 6 years. It's very, very confusing. Very, very confusing and very silly. But if you move the start of the season up, don't start week 1 on Labor Day weekend. Move the start of the season up. Implement 2 bye weeks. Make sure that if you want to end it on Thanksgiving weekend, cool. That's fine. But if you want to move it up and give your top players a little bit more time and allow the playoff to expand a little bit, you can have championship weekend Thanksgiving weekend. Oh, wait, that doesn't really fit right, does it? No, it doesn't fit right. But if you keep that thing in December, when it normally is that first Saturday in December, which I think is fine, you allow the playoff to take up all of December. You put the national championship on New Year's Day. And then if you're thinking, well, you can't just implement, Selection Sunday is on a Sunday, and then the very next week you're going to play a game. Well, if you want home playoff games, schools won't be ready to host. Trust me. If Ross Bjork has the option to quickly turn around and say, oh, we're hosting a game, we got to host the game in 7 days, they'll fix that thing. They get that thing ready, prepare for that thing, have it be a big old massive ordeal. Why? Because they want that money. And let's just say the next negotiations for the playoff, and they say, no more home playoff games. If we're going to move the calendar, it's better to have all those games on neutral sites. Cool. That alleviates the last minute or a short notice with a week to get tickets out there, to sell tickets. Selling tickets ain't gonna be a problem. It will not be a problem at all. Oh, Ohio State plays Tennessee in 7 days from the Selection Sunday. Cool. Put them bad boys on sale on Monday. They'll be gone so quick. Secondary market, the ticket prices will start inflating. Why? It's high demand, man. It's rare to be able to host a home playoff game. It's rare to be in a situation to be where this is a historic moment for the sport. There's nothing wrong with having the season end on January 1st out there in Southern California at the Rose Bowl. I've been saying it for a while. I'm going to keep saying it. If you want to have it go from east, central to west, I can give you 4 sites easily. 4 of them, even on New Year's Day, it will not be a problem. On the west side, you go with Rose Bowl. If you go central, got 2. On the southern side, go to the Cotton Bowl. I would prefer the Cotton Bowl Stadium over Jerry's World, but Jerry's World more of a climate control situation. Go to Jerry's World, AT&T Stadium, right there where the Dallas Cowboys play. On the north side, go to Lucas Oil Stadium. one of the best places in the country to host a big sporting event, big event in general, Lucas Oil Stadium. Now, if you want to go out to the east, go to Atlanta. That stadium is insane. Go there. That gives you 4 spots in 4 different geographic regions in the country to host a national championship game. You can cycle through it, rotate it. There's a reason why, for those of you that are saying Indianapolis is a no, there's a reason why the NCAA has Indianapolis on a rotation to host the Final Four every, 3 or 4 or 5 years. Don't know the rotation, but it's on a cycle. Now, it's not only because the NCAA headquarters are in downtown Indianapolis, but it's because Indianapolis does a phenomenal job of hosting big events, especially big sporting events. For those that don't know, I live in Indiana, and, well, the biggest sporting event every single year in the country is in Indiana. 300, well, it used to be 250, 300,000 strong go to Speedway, Indiana for the greatest spectacle in racing. You may say, Jay, why in the world? Don't ask me. I thought that thing is crazy every single year. Those are the 4. Atlanta, Indianapolis, Dallas, Pasadena. The 4 sites, cycle through them. And then we can have all neutral sites in the playoff, which eliminates home field. I don't really care, man, if home field advantage or not. I don't care. Neutral site, or I have no dog in the race. I truly don't care. What I do care, though, is fixing this for the kids. Now, some may say, Jay, if you move it up, how long will the window be? Man, I don't. 15 days, 20 days. Most of these cats know in December or November or October if they're going to the portal. So no matter if it opens the first week of December or January 2nd, these cats already know if they're going to the portal or not. And you know what? Tampering has been happening in this sport for decades. It's not going to stop. And these agents are going to be putting feelers out there. Hey, man, you can make X amount of dollars at this school. Well, you may not be able to make as much money at this school, but you'll be able to be a bigger piece of the pie and the game plan for that school. Trust me, it makes a whole lot of sense to change the calendar for everybody, for the coaches, for the players, for the schools. It'll still allow the athletes to have a little bit more time to enroll in school, to be a part of winter workouts and spring practice, because you got to be in school taking classes to participate with the football team. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. No problem. No problem at all. But it needs to change, man. I don't have a problem. The portal also, you got to have some rules. You can't just have cats leaving after every single season. That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, wait. There are supposed to be rules, but the NCAA isn't enforcing them. One, they're not enforcing. NIL is not supposed to be used to lure kids to campus via recruiting. But it's happening. Why? Because the NCAA, for some odd reason, has said they're not going to police anything. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't get the calendar. Why you got championship week, you got selection Sunday, you have early national signing day, you got the portal. None of it makes sense. The portal opens before championship games are played, conference championship games are played. The portal opens after signing day. You can see on my face, if you're watching right now on the YouTube, just the frustration in this sport. However, things can change, and I think they will. I know this is all for TV. Oh, it's a TV product. Oh, people in the sport have been working on this for decades. I mean, literally, the people that are doing this did the Bowl Coalition, the Bowl Alliance, and even the guy that used to run the BCS just stepped down as being the executive director or chairman, whatever his title was, of the CFP. So the same people that have been doing this since the early 90s are still in control. Do we know their names besides Bill Hancock? Probably not. Mostly, I don't even know who's running the CFP right now. Why? It's a new role for him. And he's not very public with it. He is, but you got to Google it. It's just weird, man. Show us your face. We know Adam Silver. We know Roger Goodell. We know the guys running the NFL, NBA. We know the guys that are running these big-time college football. Oh, don't make no sense to me. Show your face. Make it for centralize it. I mean, there's so many things I could talk about to change and help college football. We'll do that later on. Trust me, we'll do that throughout the offseason. Right now, it's not the time for that because we're up out of time. we're not up out of time to do a weekly stock watch because this week's stock watch isn't all about college football. We're going to talk about something outside of the sport, and we'll dive into it next. This episode is brought to you by the College Football Playoff because it's that time of year. The College Football Playoff is back. And with the newly expanded 12-team format, it's guaranteed to be bigger and better than ever, bringing you all the hard-hitting and high-flying excitement that you love. TNT Sports coverage of the College Football Playoff begins December 21st, starting with the College Football Playoff kickoff show presented by AT&T at 11 a.m. Eastern. Leading into our first matchup, the Southern Methodist University Mustangs battling the Penn State Nittany Lions at noon. Then the Clemson Tigers look to upset the Texas Longhorns in a showdown at 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss a moment of the action. Watch the College Football Playoff presented by Allstate live on TNT, True TV, TBS, and Max. Thank y'all for tapping into Locked On Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. It's that time of the week for our weekly stock watch, and today has a different flavor than most weeks when we talk about what is rising with the stock and what stock is falling. We're going to go stock up on the Buckeyes hosting a home playoff game this year. This is a very historic moment for college football where teams are hosting playoff games. The first year of a 12-team format. It's the first ever December home game in Buckeye football history. There's a lot of firsts this year, and the Buckeyes have a great opportunity in front of their home fans, 102,000 strong, maybe 105,000 strong, whatever the final number is going to be. The Buckeyes have a great opportunity to go in the shoe and leave that game a winner. This is why you came to Ohio State. The Buckeyes are in a moment to where players come to win games like this. Caleb Downs transferred to win games like this. Will Howard transferred to win games like this. Lathan Ransom came in. Travion Henderson came in. Tuimoloau and Sawyer and others. They came to Ohio State to win games like this. And Ohio State has a great opportunity in front of their home crowd to win a home playoff game in the shoe. For the first time ever in history, the Buckeyes players, they're made for this. They're built for this moment. And I have a great feeling, a good feeling, that the Buckeyes are primed and ready and will show up and show out in the shoe on Saturday night. I'm so used to saying afternoon because you know the whole big noon thing. But nah, ABC got this thing, and they putting the Buckeyes in prime time where the Buckeyes deserve to be. Stock up on bowl season being here. I have not looked at my calendar to see when bowl season starts, but I believe it is this weekend. And y'all, this is the moment of the year I have been waiting for. Football afternoon. We got football in the evening. Football, and football. Oh, football starts tonight on a Tuesday evening. We're recording this show, the Frisco Bowl. Currently, as I'm talking right now, it's halftime of the Frisco Bowl. Memphis is up 28-17. And I thought I saw something saying bowl season is here, but I wasn't really sure. But y'all, I like this. I love bowl season. It's a massive reward for the players on the teams all across the land. It's a privilege to be in a bowl game. You've earned it. You earn the right to be in a bowl game. You earn the right to be in the playoff. It is something that you earn. It is a reward. And for Memphis and West Virginia and Ohio State and Oregon and all the schools out there that have earned the right to play at this point in the year, it's a massive reward. And these schools and players deserve the appreciation of the accomplishments that they have this year. Stock up on Ohio State having a chance to win the national championship. Natty or bust, right? Now you've earned the right to have a shot to win. Only 12 teams made the playoff. It doesn't matter what you think about the format. It doesn't matter what you think about, the automatic bids. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. The Buckeyes are in the field of 12 that have the chance to win the national championship. And that's big. That's a huge moment for Ohio State, where this is why you come to Columbus. But there are some schools and sometimes that Ohio State players are there that, this is why they came there, but they don't earn the right to have a shot to do it. Think about the 90s, where they had the Bowl Coalition and the Bowl Alliance. But Ohio State couldn't even be a part of the wannabe national championship game because they had the contract with the Rose Bowl, and they didn't include the Rose Bowl in the Bowl Coalition and the Bowl Alliance. All of a sudden, the BCS, they can be a part of that party. But now Ohio State is now still a part of the party, and they have a shot to win the national championship. With only 12 schools at the FBS level, when there were over 130 schools at this level, 12 of them have the chance to win the Natty to end the year with a ring, a national championship ring. That's an exclusive group. Don't take this moment for granted. Realize what's right in front of you. Seize the day. Play Buckeye football. Play Buckeye football. I'm confident the Buckeyes will win. Stock down on the CFB calendar. Because college football calendar, it's broken. We talked about it earlier. Not even on National Signing Day or the early portion or the one in February or the portal one in December and one in spring practice. No. Even the fact that the schedule for 2025 was released, a week ago? Why? Y'all could have had that in February or March. Had that kind of be an appetizer for spring football. Make it more of a big deal. Oh, you don't want to mess up with the NFL draft? That ain't going to mess up with the NFL draft. You got pro days. You got the combine. You got players going all around the country. The draft fuels itself. The NFL will not be upset if y'all put the schedule release in March. And if they are, cool. Still do it. Find something to add more buzz in the offseason, like a schedule release. Make it a big deal. Y'all could do that. The calendar's broken. It can be changed. It's not something that it's broken that can never be repaired. It can definitely be fixed, and I hope it happens soon. Stock down on the weird feeling I have about this game. Well, I know Ohio State can win. I ain't gonna lie to you. Tennessee can come into the shoe and win as well. So I got a weird feeling, man. And normally I'm very, very confident. I was confident Ohio State will beat Michigan. Didn't happen. I was confident Ohio State will beat Indiana. Didn't happen. I was even confident Ohio State would go to Eugene, Oregon and beat the Ducks. Didn't happen. So sometimes I have a confidence that it works sometimes and it doesn't. I got a weird feeling about this game because Tennessee is a good football team. Now, I'll unveil my score prediction tomorrow on the crossover with Eric Kane of Locked On Vols, and you'll be able to see, exactly where my mind sits in regards to this game. Is it a weird feeling where Ohio State's going to lose, or a weird feeling where I think the Buckeyes are going to win? Come back tomorrow for tomorrow's show to figure that out. But I ain't going to lie, man, I got a weird feeling about this game. Last but not least, stock down on the NBA Cup final being on a Tuesday night. That's silly. That is silly. Now, the NBA doesn't want to compete with the college football. I get it. I understand it. I trust me. I completely understand that. You can't get on ABC on that night because ABC has the Buckeyes. Cool, I get that. I understand it. But at some point, man, the NBA got to realize, why don't we put the NBA Cup and schedule it so it doesn't interfere with a football, college football, or the NFL? Because I do believe they had the games last Saturday evening at 8:30 on ABC when college football wasn't on. You wouldn't compete with the CFP playoff in the first round. So y'all should have just done it then. Move things up. Makes a whole lot more sense. I went to my first Pacers game in quite a long time, a couple of years over the weekend, and I'm sitting here thinking, NBA basketball is fun to watch live when you're there. NBA Cup, a lot of good basketball, Bucks and Thunder in the finals there. Good competition. Put it in a period on a day when people don't have to worry about staying up late when they got to go to work the next day. Make it make sense, NBA. Y'all changing the all-star format. I think it's kind of silly. I think it's going to bring a lot of competition, but I also think it's kind of silly. We'll wait and see. I'll wait to kind of judge that after we see the format the first time. But NBA Cup on a Tuesday evening, that doesn't make no sense. I don't know why I'm whispering, but it don't make no sense, man. Thank y'all for tapping into Locked On Buckeyes here on this hump day. Got a lot more good stuff coming your way this week. Might even have a kickoff show on Saturday to kind of get you a little bit more pumped up for the game on Saturday night against the Tennessee Volunteers, which is the final first-round playoff game in the inaugural year of the 12-team format. Might only be in 2 years of the 12-team format, because I do believe in 2026 we're going to expand to the 14-team format. Hopefully we get more clarity and more changes to that, but we got to wait and see exactly what the people that are in charge of the sport decide in regards to the new format of the playoff in a couple years. You can follow me on Twitter at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked on Buckeyes here on a hump day. We'll see you next time.